Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to DFS Coach Talk. I'm your host, Josh Davis, also known as Crash. Today is Sunday, February 11th, 2024, and we are here, of course, to go over the Super Bowl LVIII, between the San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs. If you're new to the channel, if you would give us a like button and then hit subscribe. After you've done those two things, if you would hit the alarm bell, that will let you know when our newest podcast has gone live. If you're new to DFS Coach Talk, we would love to have you join us. We have memberships that start as low as $4.99 a week, but we also have our NBA special. It's $49.99, and that will get you the rest of the NBA season, the Major League Baseball when that starts, up into when we get to the NBA Finals of the NBA playoffs. So you'll get all of the Major League Baseball season to that point. And then, of course, the NBA. And if you sign up before 5:30 tonight, 5:30 Central, you will get the NFL Super Bowl. So you'll get that. And then we also have PGA. We'll be doing some PGA with Doug. And then our hockey during the NBA All-Star break, we will venture into hockey a little bit. So you're going to get all that. And then, like I said, we also have a membership that starts as low as $4.99 a week. So glad you're here. We have a lot to cover for the Super Bowl. I'm going to try and get to as much as I can. I have some Prizepicks plays. Going to go over the game position by position, of course, and just some general thoughts and take, time for your questions as well. Hope everybody's having a great Sunday. So we have, starting out here with the lines, the 49ers are favored by 2. They're minus 130 on the money line, has an over-under of 47 in this game. Let me go ahead and take a look at the chat, see who all is here so far. Having a little bit of tough time with my voice this afternoon. Sorry. King of all trades, what's going on? Derek, how's it going, man? Take a drink here and see if I can clear my throat. Okay. All right, let's see. All right, so we'll start with my top plays at quarterback. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes, 15.9 on Draftkings in the captain spot, 10,600 in the flex. He's 15,000 on Fanduel and $33 on Yahoo. His 3 games against the 49ers, which obviously includes the Super Bowl last year. And then I think in 2018, he also faced San Francisco. But he's averaged 28.5 DraftKings points with 8 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. He's in a good spot. The 49ers secondary has struggled, especially on the back end. They allowed 273 yards to Jared Goff last week. They ranked 13th in passing yards allowed, and Mahomes should have a nice game, obviously. I think that goes without saying. Purdy, on the other hand, I think he's in a very tough matchup against the Chiefs. They have allowed the 4th fewest passing yards this year at 176.5. And I just think with his first, this is his first time in the Super Bowl, completely different stage. He hasn't been there before. I think they're going to rely heavily on Christian McCaffrey and Purdy. He'll probably start out slow and then pick it up as he goes. But overall, I think he's going to have a pretty quiet day. All right, let's look at running back. Like I mentioned, Christian McCaffrey, he's 18,000 in the captain spot, 12,000 in the flex on DraftKings, 17.5 on FanDuel, $42 on Yahoo. So he is obviously the most expensive player on this site. The Chiefs were average this year in rushing yards allowed at 17th, but they were top 10 in fantasy points. So they do allow a lot of yards, but they don't always allow as many touchdowns. McCaffrey has scored 28.1 DraftKings points in 4 of his last 5 games. Last year when they played, it was a struggle for San Francisco and McCaffrey especially. He only had 8 carries for 38 yards for 8.2 DraftKings points. So I do think that he'll have a better game today. I don't think he's going to be behind. I think they were behind by like 2 scores the majority of that game. I think this will be a really close game tonight. So I do think McCaffrey should see a heavy workload and probably score at least 1, maybe 2 touchdowns today. On the flip side, you have Isaiah Pacheco. He's 12,000 in the captain spot on DraftKings, 8,000 in the flex, 12.5 on Fanduel, $32 on Yahoo. San Francisco had a really good run defense throughout the year. They allowed the fourth fewest fantasy points to running backs, but lately, as we saw against Green Bay and Detroit, Aaron Jones and David Montgomery both had pretty nice games. They both had over 19 DraftKings points, and they both averaged over 6 yards per carry. So San Francisco's run defense has kind of struggled lately, and I would expect that to continue today against the Chiefs. Isaiah Pacheco is a very aggressive, fast running back, and I think that they're going to, struggle. They run a lot outside, and that's been the main area where the 49ers have struggled against on the run. Rodney, what's going on, man? Wide receivers. So the Chiefs and the 49ers, they both have really good corners at the top of their depth chart. I think that this is going to make for a difficult matchup for Rashee Rice against Charvarius Ward, Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel against either L'Jarius Sneed or Trent McDuffie, however they match them up. I think it's going to be a tough matchup for all those guys. So I'm going to be looking to save some salary, obviously with Mahomes and Kelsey, McCaffrey. We haven't got to tight end yet, but Kelsey's going to be my tight end, obviously. Mahomes and McCaffrey and Kelsey, you have to save some salary somewhere. So I think Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who's had some big catches, is going to be a nice little value play. 4,500 in the captain on DraftKings, 3,000 in the flex, 7,500 on FanDuel, and $11 on Yahoo. The 49ers have struggled on the back end with their safeties and getting beat deep. We saw that with Bo Melton against the Packers. They beat them twice. They had the pass interference and that they gained the long pass play on. And then the touchdown they gave up was also against Bo Melton on the back end. So I think Marquez Valdez-Scantling could get them, beat a couple times over the top. And so for salary purposes and because of that matchup, I think he's going to be my salary saver on this game. Tight end, like I mentioned, Travis Kelce is 15.3 in the captain, 10,200 in the flex on DraftKings, 13,000 on FanDuel, $28 on Yahoo. We've seen he's been more involved in the Chiefs passing attack lately. He's averaged 23.5 DraftKings points in the 3 playoff games this year. He scored 3 touchdowns in the last 2 games. He had 1 against Baltimore and 2 week before against Buffalo. So he's been really involved, as you might expect. This could be one of the last Super Bowls that Kelsey and Mahomes have together. Maybe not. You never know how long Kelsey's going to play. But there is that chance just because you never know. You go to the Super Bowl and you think you're always going to be back there, especially when you have a young team that looks like they're going to be a dynasty like the Chiefs. But you never know what could happen in the future. This could be the last time they play in the Super Bowl together. So I think Kelsey will make the most of it, and him and Mahomes will have a big day. On the other side, George Kittle is 9,600 in the captain, 6,400 in the flex on DraftKings, 10,000 on FanDuel, $22 on Yahoo. Kittle was very quiet in the NFC Championship against Detroit. He only had 2 catches on 3 targets for 27 yards for only 4.7 DraftKings points. The last Super Bowl they played, Super Bowl 54 against the Chiefs, he also had a quiet game. I think with the secondary that the Chiefs have, the corners are going to be focused on Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel. It's going to open up some opportunities for Kittle, so he could have a pretty decent game today. The Chiefs did allow only 15 yards and 16 yards receiving to Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely, respectively, in the AFC Championship. So they have been pretty good. They allowed the 10th fewest fantasy points to tight ends. But like I said, there's going to be some openings in the passing game, and I think that Kittle could, get them beat on a couple nice plays, maybe in even a touchdown. So that's what I'm looking at for tight end. Let me look at the chat, see what questions you guys have. Boils down to what defense will win the game. If it comes down to that, I like the Chiefs, but we'll see. The Chiefs defense, that's a good segue. They're my top defense in this game, 5,100 in the captain, 3,400 in the flex on DraftKings, 9,000 on FanDuel, $15 on Yahoo. The Chiefs have allowed just 13.7 points per game in their last 3 playoff games. These last 3 playoff games, they held Baltimore to just 10 points in the AFC Championship. That was very impressive. Baltimore has been one of the top teams all season, and they really shut them down. So Chiefs defense has been playing very well. The 49ers offense is very explosive, probably the most explosive in the NFL, I would say. So I do think it's going to be a challenge for the Chiefs from that standpoint. But if they get a lead early, I think that they can pin their ears back and get pretty aggressive and confuse Purdy and cause a lot of trouble. So I do like the Chiefs defense. If you want to look at kickers, Harrison Butker is 7,500 in the captain, 5,000 in the flex on Draftkings, 9,500 on Fanduel. They don't have kickers on Yahoo, so you don't have to worry about that over there. But I do like him on Draftkings and Fanduel. He's made his last 15 field goals in his last 5 games. So very consistent. He's been there before. Harrison Butker, who knows? He could make the game-winning kick tonight. You never know. And on the flip side with Moody, I don't like him as much. For one, he's been struggling a little bit lately. Had that blocked field goal against the Packers. I believe he missed one against the Lions. He's never been there before. I think that's important, and especially when you're kicking field goals on this stage. So I don't like Moody as much. The other thing is I know that Shanahan is not going to try and kick field goals to beat Patrick Mahomes. So that will lead me into my first Prizepicks play. Before we get to that, let me go ahead and give you my Super Bowl prediction. I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs. If you remember back in week 1, when Deb, Steve, and I all made our predictions for the year, I went with the Chiefs over the 49ers, which just turned out to be right. But at least as far as who got to the Super Bowl. So now if the Chiefs win, I'm going to go with that along with that with my prediction here. Chiefs 27, 49ers 23 is my official prediction. Would like to hear you guys' predictions in the chat, just out of curiosity. And then as far as Prizepicks goes, so we're going to go with just a second. Make sure these lines haven't moved. I made these entries this morning, and they probably moved some. All right, so I'm going to go. Well, obviously, you have your free square. For those of you who don't know, they are doing. You can give up to or put in up to $25 on Patrick Mahomes more than 0.5 passing yards. So obviously, he's going to get that, unless he gets hurt in warmups or something crazy, which then you would get rebooted, get a refund for that. But you can play up to $25 on that play. Just play it with something else. You'll have to play at least one 49er. You can't use all Chiefs or all 49ers in Prizepicks. So I'm going to go with, obviously, the free square with Mahomes, and then take Moody less than 8.5 fantasy score. Like I said, I know Shanahan's not going to try and beat Mahomes kicking field goals. He's gone under that number in 4 of his last 5 games. And that's going to be one of my plays. My other play is going to be Deebo Samuel less than 59.5 receiving yards. So we have Samuel less than 59.5, Moody less than 8.5 fantasy score, and Patrick Mahomes, of course, more than 0.5 passing yards as the free square. And then one more play, I'm going to do Travis Kelce more than 49.5 receiving yards. So that's going to be what they call a goblin play. The goblin plays have a little less of a payout on them, but they still count. You can still make money if they hit. So we got Patrick Mahomes more than 0.5 passing yards, Deebo Samuel less than 59.5 receiving yards, Jake Moody less than 8.5 fantasy score, and Travis Kelce more than 49.5 receiving yards. So that is everything I had for you guys today. Do you guys have any other questions before we get out of here? Okay, so we got, Jason, how's it going, man? I saw your prediction on Facebook too. Ronnie Pollard's got Kansas City winning 24-17. Anybody else have any other predictions? What about Super Bowl MVP? Who do you guys have win MVP? Obviously, Mahomes is probably the favorite. If the Chiefs win, if the 49ers win, McCaffrey. But just curious who you guys have as your pick for Super Bowl MVP. And do we have anybody new? No one, someone that's not been here before on the stream today. I'd like to give out a membership, give out a free membership for a week for anyone that's new. I don't see anyone new so far, but could be somebody here. Mahomes, of course, CMC. Yeah, I agree, guys. Any new viewers? Someone that's never been here before, isn't a member of DFS Coach Talk. How about that? All right, I don't see anyone. So that is going to wrap it up for the Super Bowl podcast. Hope everybody has an awesome time tonight. Stay safe, have fun. All your friends and family that you watch the Super Bowl with. Hope we absolutely crush it with our props and our DFS plays, of course. I will be back for the start of Major League Baseball. So we've got basically a month between podcasts. So it's going to be a little while, but I'll be back for the start of Major League Baseball. Looking to crush our MLB season as always. Hope everybody has an awesome night. Enjoy the Super Bowl, and we'll see you soon as we look to crush it in NFL, MLB, and NBA, DFS, and Prize Picks with Coach Talk. Thanks and have a great day.